So, I want to do a story about rejection, getting rejected. I was on the bus. This is before the whole pandemic thing started. I was on the bus, as in metro. I was actually going to work at a tech company job located in Redmond, Washington, and the bus was relatively empty. This was about a year back. And I watched, there was a guy, got on, kind of skinny guy, he wasn't bad looking, gets on, and he sits up in one of these, like, they have like kind of these side seats where people are like facing each other. So I'm watching it. And there's extremely attractive, cute girl. I think she looked like kind of Indian, and she was seated across from this guy. So they were kind of facing each other, and I was watching the whole scene go down. And they're both playing on their phones, right? And I see the guy, and he looks up, and he's like, you could tell there was like, oh, you know, he had, he was smitten, let's just say. And I don't blame him. The girl was cute. She was very attractive. And he kept the whole time, it was on the bus, he kept like looking up, and he was almost like ready, you know how somebody's like starts to say, he's like, oh, it's like, and then he kind of pulled back. And then, a couple of minutes later, he'd be looking up and glancing up, and then and then he kind of pulled back. Like he was trying, almost going to say something, but you could tell he was just kind of like trying to work up the courage, and I was like, oh, I was kind of pulling for him. I was like, come on, you can do it. Just, have a nice day or something. I don't know. And but he never did it. The bus eventually got to the stop. The girl got up, walked off, and the guy looked kind of disappointed, or I don't know, whatever else. Like you could see in his face that he was disappointed in himself, and I don't blame him. That's uncomfortable. Had it been me 20 years ago, I would have been rejected 3 times before that freaking bus got to that stop. I probably wouldn't have been able to ride that bus for a month, which gets to my point: rejection. Why I like it. I'm old now. I'm married, but I was young once, and believe it or not, my game was deep. It wasn't really deep. I just was a numbers guy. I don't think you could actually talk to girls like that anymore. Like if I was to say, I don't think I was ever obnoxious, but if a girl rejected me, for instance, I had a very, very beautiful girl at a sporting goods store. I was in line. This was well before I was married. This is 20-some years ago. And I got up there, and this girl was stunning. Oh my God, she was so beautiful. And got there, and I just said, hey, how you doing? I was uncomfortable, but I was kind of in this thing where you got to do what you got to do. These were the days before the internet. There was no such thing as online dating. So if you don't say something, nothing's going to happen. So I said, just kind of stumbled and said, can I get your phone number? Something like that. And it was like, she was like kind of jolted back. And she was uncomfortable then, obviously, because this strange, incredibly attractive gentleman is up there trying to, talk to her, and she wasn't expecting that, obviously. Obviously, she was stunned by my good looks. Anyway, and it was like kind of this awkward exchange. I got my Nikes, paid for, I got a boyfriend, something of that nature. And I didn't have a witty comeback. I wish I had. I wish I could tell you that I was like immediately like, oh, well, I assumed maybe she had a boyfriend, maybe she didn't. Obviously, she wasn't interested in me. So I'm in another store, same street, probably a week later. I feel something on my leg, and I look down, and I look over, and it's the same girl, and she's sitting there next to me. She slipped her number in my pocket, and we dated. It was good. She was freaking beautiful. It was a good time. Probably went out for a couple months. But the moral of the story is, if you don't try, you don't succeed. I don't know what the rules are these days with the internet. I think people aren't supposed to like talk to each other anymore, or if you do, you're supposed to like sign some forms or something like that. But getting rejected, as I found, because is truly an art form. Like you gotta just like rejection works. It's great. And once you get used to being rejected, you're really trying to become comfortable. I had a girl, and this is another story, another rejection story. I like rejection stories. I've had some good ones too. If you get the numbers that I had, my dating strategy was sort of the sawed-off shotgun approach. Everybody's going to get hit on a little bit. Anyway, I was in line. I was at a club in Seattle called um, the Showbox. This was probably, God, back in the 90s. And I'm in line. And there's this very attractive girl, like a little bit in front of me. And she's like, oh, says something to me. I say something to her. We're talking as as the line's progressing. And there's like, it's like kind of a long line. So we've got maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes, say. And we're just, chatting it up and talking about something, I don't know, maybe music, something. I don't remember what it was. I was psyched that this girl was talking to me. So we talked for probably 15 minutes. We're just about to the front line. And she's just about to order a drink. So that was when I said to her, I said, so where are you from? Or one of those type of questions. And she literally, like, I'll never forget this. This was awesome. If she's out there and she sees this, thank you for this experience. She took a step back, and she kind of looked me up and down, like just like head to toe. And then she looked at me and she goes, shook her head from side to side, sort of sadly, and goes, don't worry about it. And I was like, I am so in love. Like that was the best rejection ever. Like, it just, the rejection was just like fine wine. I mean, you can't beat that type of rejection. And that one did not work out in my favor. I never ended up, we never dated or anything like it. I never saw her again. Maybe I did, but I wouldn't know who it was. So anyway, I enjoyed that. That was good. Because it takes, like, if you go, oh, I got a boyfriend, or oh, this or that, it's like, that doesn't show a level of creativity. This girl, I mean, she, like, she buried me. She got the shovel, and she just kept digging. And she was like, oh, man, this guy, he's going to remember this. Yeah, so that's another good rejection story. I got a lot of them, because I think I got rejected a lot. Rejection is one of those things that the better the rejection is, the more I'm going to be interested in dating you. That's just, back in those days, if you just came up with something so witty, I was just like, oh, that you must be really good. It's like Woody Allen said. Woody Allen said, why would I want to be in a club that would have me as a member? That is some freaking good advice. And I think that's the way people's minds work. Like, even if you're a man or a woman, you always want the person that you really just can't get. And I think rejection, being good quality rejection, is a big part of that. So I always personally, myself, like, once I got past the, like, ego thing about getting rejected, I used to have a friend, when I would get rejected, we went to college together, funniest guy ever, love him, Paul. And I remember one time I went to some girl, and it's like, laid my rap down. How you doing? She looked at me, and she blew me out of the water. And I walked back to Paul, like, kind of with my tail between my legs. And Paul goes, what was that like? And which was beautiful. I love it. I don't want friends that are going to, like, hold my hand. I want friends that are, like going to laugh at me, because those are the type of people that have quality, good qualities. I like mentally tough people. Anyway, so those are some good rejection stories. I got a few others that are pretty quality. Oh my God, just moved. How the hell did that happen? Is there something on here? Wait a minute. Oh, there it goes. Yeah.